Hello, everybody. Back again. Thank you for joining me. My name is Carlos with yet another video, another session. Today we're going to be going over a leg session, which for me was a very exciting, very productive. Had some novel things in it, and just one more link in that chain of progress. It's just on it, week in, week out. I give thanks to God above that I've been able to stay on point and that extraneous things have not distracted me because they can. Things can happen, life can take over sometimes. So when you can take advantage of staying on point, do so. That's what I've been doing. There'll be missed opportunities. If you can stay on point, why wouldn't you? So that's what we've been doing. Today's leg session. But before we get into that, please hit that subscribe button, post notifications, leave a comment, and all that good stuff. So, leg session. But changed it up a little bit this session. I have been starting out with lunges. Didn't do the lunges today. Just went in for the heavy presses. Always warming up with the 10 minutes on the bicycle to get the knee flexion. Very important. For me, that's very important, as the knee is my weak link in the chain. From doing the heavy stuff, it does get affected. I've dropped the free bar squat. It's just too painful for me right now. I'll get back to it later if I can. For now, I'm doing more productive things to build up quad size, leg size, general lower body strength and size. There's other tools that can be used. So today started out with the leg curl. It's always, I got this cue from Fuad Abiyad's podcast. He said he learned it from John Meadows, may he rest in peace, where you should warm up your knee joint by doing the antagonistic muscle. Sometimes if you warm up with the leg extension, it can pre-fatigue the knee for the heavy lifts. So it's wiser. And I found this to be true, to work the antagonistic muscle, i.e. the biceps, the leg biceps. So started out with 3 sets. The exact weights were 90 pounds, 120 pounds, and 140 pounds for 15, 12, and 10 reps. Just enough. Nice stretch, good contraction on the top, enough. 3 sets. From there we went to the Smith machine. And since last week, I had it in my head to do the Smith, do partial reps, not going all the way down. Now, this isn't like just quarter reps or anything like that. I put the pin at just the right height where I would get the maximum load on the quad without hitting 90 degrees. Why? So I could overload the quad at just the proper range. I saw a couple of big guys doing this the other day, and I was looking at their legs as they were doing this, and I said, that's bombing. They're not going ass to grass, true, but it seems to be working as far as building up leg size. So I said, I'm going to incorporate that. I always observe. I'm looking. I'm trying to do things the best way possible. I've done ass to grass quite a bit. I have quite a few videos doing extreme full range of motion with heavy weights on the Smith. And I have to say, while it is satisfying to look at, it's an incredible achievement for me to do those type of things. It does put a little bit of strain on the knees, and it wasn't giving me the reciprocal growth on the leg that I expected. So, switching things up, doing partial reps on the Smith. Worked up to the 3 plates, and I was thinking of doing between 12 and 15. When I got to 15, I knew that I could do more reps. And so I went up to 20, and the burn was just out of this world. I forced myself to go through it, but like the burn on the glutes, even though I wasn't going all the way down, flexing my hips, my glutes, my lower back, and the upper part of the thigh, the quad area, but like up high, was on fire. That shit was on fire. It was one of the toughest sets I've ever done in my life. It was really hardcore. And, I just feel that there was an extreme benefit. I was noting greater vascularity in my leg this morning, even though I dropped like 2 pounds yesterday. Even though I was eating the same amount of food, this morning I dropped 2 pounds. This is what I've been explaining with the bulking diet. I'll get into it in a little bit. where it's not a linear progression. It's like up, down, sideways, all around. If you have to keep at it over months and months and months, and then you eventually reach your goal. But it's like tons of little sidetracks, detours, back steps, and all that on the way. Same thing when you're trying to lose weight. The scale sometimes doesn't go down, it goes up, and you've been dieting hard. It's the same thing going up. It does head games. Anyways, that set was just unbelievable. I tried to go heavier after that. I put on 3.5 plates, and I just did 1 rep, and I said that would be foolish for me to continue, trying to do reps. I'll probably, I could hurt myself, or I was just burnt. Like my back was pumped, my lower back was pumped, my quads were sick. I mean, they were really on fire. From there, I went and did the extension, the leg extension. So, novel about the leg extension is pointing the toes really out, not straight, but pointing the toes out. That biases the internal quad, the teardrop, as they call it, the VOM muscle. And I have to say, like the first couple of reps were putting a lot of stress on my knee. But as I got into the groove, I got over it. The knee wasn't really hurting. It was like a lot of stress on the muscle, targeting that internal, the teardrop. And it worked. I got 3 sets of those. Went from 120, 130, and 140 pounds for 15 reps. And I feel that they were very productive also. It's like I try to get like the most out of each and every set, starting from the leg biceps curl to the Smith machine. Now we're on the leg extension. And this is the other thing I noticed. When I'm not hurrying through the workout, like you have to have time to do this. If you're on a budget, you got to be in and out in 45 minutes. I don't know what to say. I mean, there's ways to train, of course, but that's not what I'm into. That's not how I'm going to explain things. So I can't address that particular audience at this time of how to go about quickly. When you have plenty of time, take your time. Spend your 2 hours on that leg session. Do not hurry. Do not look at the clock. Just do every single set to the best of your ability. Don't hurry from exercise to exercise. Don't stress about, 90 seconds between sets, because that's bullshit. It's like, you rest for 3, 4, even 5 minutes between sets, and then you give it your all on the set. It's much more productive. Much more productive. You'll have more energy for the set, greater force production, go deeper into the set for more reps than trying, there's a time and a place. The fast-paced training is different. It's not what I'm trying to do now, which is build maximum size and strength. So after 3 sets of the leg extension, went to one of the best exercises I've done, or I've found up until now, which is the completely vertical leg press, like the modern machine, not the Smith, where you put your feet on the bar and try to, push a bar up. This is it's a platform, and it's very comfortable to get underneath, and it puts all the stress on the meat of the thigh. No stress on my knee. I know I've heard some comments that it hurts the knees. I guess it really depends on your biomechanics, how long your femur is in relation to the tibia. All these muscles and the length of your bones and how you're built. Everybody's different. Some people are short, some people are long. How can the same biomechanics apply to both cases? They can't. But this particular machine favors my personal biometrics, and so I'm taking full advantage of it. Last week I did 3.5 plates for like 10 reps, and it felt great. I promised myself that I was just going to progress on this machine, and it was so much fun bringing up to 4 plates and going down for 12 reps. Again, my legs were screaming, and this was after 2 exercises that really pumped my quads, which was the Smith and the leg extension, and to hit it at the end with this other compound move, the leg press vertical, all the weight, it's like I relaxed the weight because it's completely vertical, just let it come down, and then you stretch all the muscles, and it's like a spring that's completely loaded, and then bam, bam, do a few reps nice and slow, do a few reps nice and fast, and get all of that different tension and speed going, and it was just a wonderful exercise. I can't wait to go back next week and do 4.5 plates, maybe 5. And with the Smith also, I'm going to continue doing those partials, But I'm not going to do so many reps next week. I'll go in like next Saturday, God willing, and I'll do feeder sets so I can go up to 4 plates plus. I want to feel some weight on that machine. I got the pins protecting me from crashing down so I can do that limited range of motion and just pack on a lot of overload. I'm sure I can do 4 plates. I've done 4.5 for reps, so I just haven't done them for a while. And it feels kind of heavy, but I'm thinking of, I want to go up to 5 plates on that Smith, on those partials, to get used to having that really heavy weight on my back, 5 plates, and then bringing the pin down, just lowering so I can do, greater range of motion over time and, work it with that. It's an exciting new tack. Like, I heard James Hollingshead, he doesn't want to do any more, training videos because it gets dull. Same exercises, same movements, same weight, same reps, over and over and over and over again. I can relate to that. It's hard to put out content where you're doing the same thing. But it's not necessary to do the exact same thing. As long as you keep the ranges and parameters the same, you can mix it up quite a bit. It's not really muscle confusion. There's this mistake, like Rich Piana, he came out with this, like, you got to confuse the muscle, baby. It's like, and every single time it would be different. You have to realize this man had done powerlifting periods. He'd done periods of all kinds of different training for protracted periods of time. And so what do you do after 30 years? You've been training for 30 years consistently. You've done power, you've done hypertrophy, you've done heavy, you've done light, done it all. So basically you can come into the gym on any given day. You're already built to the max. And, one day you do one thing, the other day you do another, and now you can really confuse things because you've already spent a considerable amount of time working on a particular facet of your progress. That's called periodization. When you're in this particular period where I'm trying to bring up my compounds, like the Smith, the hack, the press, I can change the exercises as long as those weight parameters are in range and continue to move up. So I don't do the hack squat every single session. I'll do it maybe once a week or once every 3rd session, as long as I'm getting in my progress on the vertical, on the 45-degree leg press, on the Smith, and so on. And so that's how that goes. That vertical leg press, can't speak highly enough of it. If you got the machine in your gym, try it. Be careful though. Be careful with your adductors. You can hurt yourself with heavy weights. So, that goes beyond saying. And I finished off with the adductor. That'd probably be the one machine that I've been doing every single session. So I built it up to full stack. All the pin, it's a pin loaded on both gyms that I go to. So full stack from the very first set. And the only way to increase is to increase reps and to increase the subjective contraction of holding the top squeeze. Like you squeeze, you open your legs, and then you squeeze it and hold it like you're trying to strangle someone right there with your legs. Hold that for a few seconds. Got to use some intensifiers for that, but you can't increase the weight. So that's what I'm doing on that particular exercise. Now, what am I doing on the diet to continue the bulk and continue to increase, in weight and size? Oh, I need to build up the traps, need to build up the neck. I want to get that neck happening. And so we're doing that on my chest days. So how to continue with the bulk? It's you have to keep the protein very consistent. It's not an extreme thing where, at least for me, I do the formula. It's like 1 point something grams per pound of body weight. I'm weighing 204, say just flat 200. So I try to eat at least 200 grams a day, sometimes 250. If I have the luxury, I'll go up to 300. And I keep the fats very under control. Like, it's eating clean. Even though you're trying to gain as much weight as possible, you have to do it with clean. Now, why? Because you get fat if you don't. Now, how can that be? A calorie is just not true. There is hormone signal. It's a basic formula for people to grasp the notion of an energy equation. It's an energy balance, yes, but there's a lot more that goes into it than just that. A lot more. Basically, hormone signaling. So if you eat 3,000 calories of high fat compared to 3,000 calories of high carb, your body composition will differ. Why? Because carbohydrates tend to be used as glycogen for your muscle, whereas fat tends to be stored in the fat cells. So where do you store those calories is very important. That's what the calorie in, calorie out crowd doesn't really explain very well. So it's not the same. You know, you'll gain or lose, yes, but are you gaining or losing muscle? You want to gain muscle, right? Okay. So you keep the dietary fat relatively low as you can, actually, because it's hard to go below 60, 70 grams if you're eating a high calorie, diet. But the carbs have to be really high. I'm eating like between 400 and 600 net grams of carbohydrate a day, and that's what's keeping my body weight, increasing without gaining appreciable, body fat. So, that's very important. Quick thought on the gear. Everybody talks about steroids. Yeah, I do steroids. At this juncture, like right now, I'm off of them. I'm just doing like a TRT dose, like a pseudo TRT. It's like just 1 mil of testosterone a week. I split it up into 2. And that's what I've been doing, and that's what I will be doing for the foreseeable future, at least till the end of this year. So another 10 weeks, another 12 weeks of just cruising. Why? Because the food is the most anabolic thing that you can introduce to your body, more than steroids. Like I usually use steroids to lose, when I'm on a cut to retain the muscle, not to gain. You can use them to gain, absolutely. That's not what I'm doing right now. I'm just trying to cruise on that and build as much as I can with the food. And it works. I've gained 24 pounds coming off of the steroids in the last 22 days. Now I'm kind of stuck there at 204, between 202 and 204 this morning. Like I said, I came down 2 pounds from yesterday. And that'll happen. It's just like a fluctuation. So you guys who want to know, if you want to get really big, you don't need to use a whole bunch of steroids. Just like it's, you're going to find all kinds of ideas out there for sure. You're going to have to find your own way. A lot of you guys that listen to me are natty, don't want anything to do with drugs. That's fine. That's to each their own. This is one man's journey. This is what I'm doing. Been perfectly healthy, perfectly fine, no problems up to now. So, minimum doses, maximum amount of food, heavy weights, and that will accrue enough muscle. If I want to step on the gas later, I can do so, but it's not what I want to do right now. So, what else? Thoughts on bulking? We got that out. The training, hard, heavy, limited, even though it's like a long training session with 5 different exercises, 3 isolations, 2 heavy compounds. The volume has come way down. So I'm not doing a lot of sets. Like usually, like on a heavy Smith or press day, I would do like 6 or 7 sets. And today it's basically, 2, 3, like 1 real working set. I did pyramid it up on the Smith. I did 12 reps, with 2, 2.5 going up because I said I wasn't going to do a heavy top set, and that's exactly what I did. So what else is that? No, that's about it for today. That's what I wanted to share with this leg session. Just keep it on point as much as life will permit. Take advantage of the opportunity to train as often and as hard as you can. Perhaps there'll come a day when you can't really train. And, that's one of the lessons I learned in the quarantine. I didn't have access to heavy weights in my living room. I was thinking, how do I go down to the parking lot and, stick something underneath a car and try to lift it or something, trying to lift up the back of the car. I need to lift something heavy. And there's no possibility of that without real gyms, It's like go to the park, you can do pull-ups, dips. Why would you go to the gym and do pull-ups and dips if you can do them for free in the park? And I see some guys, they go to the gym and they do their park routine because they want to go there and socialize. But it's like you take advantage of the things that you cannot do in normal circumstances. That's why you have gym equipment. You don't have a hammer strength, chest press in your living room, a 45-degree angle leg or a hack squat. Take advantage of the machines, That, that goes beyond saying. Anyways, guys, that's it for today. I hope you accrue some value from these explanations and rants and from the short video I will leave at the end. God bless everybody, and until next time.